Yo, this is Chris, son of the king, coming at you straight from the throne. Born with royal blood flowing through my veins, I've been blessed with my father's wisdom and strength. Growing up wasn't easy when everyone knows your dad rules the kingdom. People always expecting perfection, but I'm just trying to find my own path while honoring his legacy. My story begins in the streets, where I learned the real meaning of struggle and sacrifice. These dreadlocks I wear are my crown, a symbol of my heritage and connection to something greater. Every lock tells a story of my journey. Every twist represents the challenges I've overcome. In 2026, I'm spreading my father's message, but with my own flavor. Taking his ancient wisdom and making it relevant for today's generation. The trap is where I found my voice. Dance hall is where I found my rhythm. Together they became my ministry, my way to reach those who wouldn't listen otherwise. Some people question my style, say it doesn't match my message. But my father taught me that true connection happens when you meet people where they are. So I bring light to the darkness, hope to the hopeless, through beats and rhymes that speak to the soul. My brown skin carries the legacy of ancestors who fought for freedom and justice. I wear it proudly as I walk through every neighborhood, breaking down barriers between worlds. When I speak with authority passed down from the greatest king who ever lived. This autobiography isn't just about me. It's about a movement, a revolution of the spirit that's changing how we see ourselves and each other. My father's kingdom isn't some distant place we reach when life is over. It's right here, right now, in how we treat each other and how we live our truth. So when you hear my music, when you see me perform, remember who I represent. I'm Chris, son of the king, carrying the message forward in a new age. The crown may look different on me, but the power behind it remains the same. Christ is king, yesterday, today, and forever, and through me, his legacy continues to transform the world. Greetings. I am St. Christoph Brown. I was born in the coastal regions of North Africa, in the late 4th century, where my family had settled after fleeing persecution in Rome. From an early age, I felt a deep connection to God and the teachings of Christ. My distinctive dreadlocks began as a vow of humility. When I was 16, I pledged to never cut my hair as a symbol of my dedication to a life of simplicity and devotion. As my locks grew and formed into dreadlocks, they became a symbol of my commitment to God. I spent my early years studying scripture and serving the poor in my community. Word of my devotion spread, and many came to me seeking spiritual guidance. I never turned anyone away, regardless of their background or beliefs. In my 30th year, a terrible plague struck our region. While others fled, I remained to care for the sick and dying. It was during this time that witnesses claimed to see a divine light surrounding me as I prayed over the afflicted. Many who were expected to die recovered after receiving my blessing. I later traveled across the Mediterranean, spreading the gospel and establishing monasteries that welcomed all who sought refuge. My appearance with dreadlocks initially caused suspicion among European communities, but my message of love and inclusion eventually won them over. The most significant miracle attributed to me occurred during a violent storm at sea. When our ship was certain to sink, I stood at the bow and prayed. Witnesses claim the waters calmed immediately, and a path opened before us to safety. I spent my final years in a small monastery in what is now southern France, where I continued to welcome pilgrims and offer guidance. I passed from this world peacefully at the age of 68. Surrounded by those who had come to call me friend and teacher. After my death, numerous healings were reported by those who prayed at my tomb, particularly among those suffering from illnesses of the skin and hair. This led to my canonization in the early 6th century. Today, I am often invoked as a patron saint of inclusion, healing, and those who feel different or marginalized. My feast day is celebrated on August 15th, and I am often depicted with my dreadlocks. A simple robe, and holding a lantern, symbolizing guidance through darkness. Remember, beloved children of God, true holiness is not found in appearance, but in how we treat one another. Let your hearts be as open as your arms to all of God's children. I am Christopher, once known as Reprobus, a man of great stature from the land of Canaan. My story begins in the 3rd century, where I was born with extraordinary strength and size. With my dark skin, long dreadlocks, and towering frame, I was both feared and revered by those who crossed my path. In my youth, I sought to serve only the greatest king in the world. I found a powerful ruler and offered my service. But one day I noticed him make the sign of the cross at the mention of the devil. When I questioned this, he admitted his fear of evil spirits. I realized then that the devil must be more powerful, so I left to seek him instead. I wandered until I encountered a band of marauders, whose leader claimed to be the devil himself. I joined them, but one day, our band avoided a path with a cross. When I asked why, their leader admitted he feared Christ, who died on such a cross. I immediately departed, determined to find and serve this Christ, who was powerful enough to frighten even the devil. I searched for someone who could tell me about Christ. A hermit I met suggested that if I wished to serve Christ, I should use my great strength to help travelers cross a dangerous river nearby. He said, "Through this service, Christ will reveal himself to you." For many days, I carried people across the raging waters on my broad shoulders, using a palm tree as my staff. One stormy night, I heard a child's voice calling for passage. I found a small boy waiting to cross. I placed him on my shoulders and stepped into the river. But with each step, the child grew heavier. The water rose, and the weight became almost unbearable. I feared we would both drown. "Child," I gasped, "you weigh as if I carry the whole world on my shoulders." The child replied, "You bear not only the world, but him who created it. I am Jesus Christ, your King." To prove it, he instructed me to plant my staff in the ground. By morning, it had blossomed into a fruit-bearing palm tree. From that day, I took the name Christopher, meaning Christ-bearer. I traveled throughout Lycia, sharing my testimony and converting thousands to the faith. This angered the local king, who had me arrested and tortured. Arrows shot at me stopped in midair, and when one rebounded and struck the king's eye, I told him my blood would heal his wound. After my execution, the king applied my blood to his eye and was healed. He then converted to Christianity himself. Though the church has questioned parts of my story over time, the faithful continue to seek my protection for safe journeys. My image, a giant carrying the Christ child across treacherous waters, reminds all that with faith, we can carry Christ to others, no matter how difficult the crossing.